Throughout the 16 years I've been on this planet, I've always had a strong fascination with video games, an addiction in a hyperbolic sense. I grew up with games like Minecraft, the Lego titles, Little Big Planet, the Arkham franchise, and occasionally Call of Duty. But one game stood out to me. This one game somehow had managed to shape my entire childhood. FNAF, or Five Nights at Freddy's, is the indie game which later became arguably the most influential game of all time today. And it really has somewhat changed me to who I am today. Five Nights at Freddy's came out on August 8th of 2014 by Scott Cawthon. The game featured 4 animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The game consisted of 5 nights, hence the name. The character's AI difficulty levels increased with each night and each in-game hour. Doors were placed to the player's left and right side. By using the cameras and lights outside the doors, the player can shut out the animatronics, but a limited power supply prevents the player from hiding within their own tomb. If you're too slow, or your power drains, then you're met by a jump scare, followed by an eerie, ear-penetrating, yet iconic screech. The game loop intrigued players, and it took the entire gaming community by storm. Everybody and their mothers were posting FNAF content left and right. Let's Players were dumping videos with massive success. Markiplier is the best example of this. He was one of the earliest content creators who recorded themselves playing the game with a critical acclaim. Some can argue that he was the one who brought FNAF to where it is at now. I truly can't remember how or when I found out about FNAF, but the earliest recollection I have was Dan TDM playing a FNAF 1 mod on Minecraft, but I didn't even know that was FNAF at the time. I just really liked Dan and I loved all his Minecraft uploads. But now that I think about it, my old friend Ryan describing to me what FNAF was, but I guess I was too stupid to understand what he was talking about. I remember he told me that FNAF 2 was just like FNAF 1, but with no doors, and it had exclamation marks above the doorway. But I mistook that for question marks, so I was imagining riddler trophies from Arkham City instead. He also told me one of the cams was carnival themed, so I envisioned that as a literal outdoor playground at night. What made the game most memorable was its insane storyline. In summary, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was a series of pizzeria joints established after Fredbear's Family Diner. William Afton, the co-owner of the franchise, was all but a lucky man. After losing his 2 children to his very own creation, the animatronics,
was that the bite of it?
he drove himself insane. He sought to bring his children back from the dead by obtaining an energy source called Remnant, which, in other words, was what contains soul and emotion. Afton experimented with less than satisfactory results and couldn't figure out how to obtain an abundance of his missing ingredient. But one fateful evening, shut out of a birthday party, was a little girl. It was raining and it was cold. Nobody paid any mind to her and never noticed her disappearance. The thunder masked her agony, and in a split second, she was dragged off to the nearby alley, stabbed by the assailant no other than William Afton. She bled out in the alley alone, with her only company being the security puppet that was supposed to protect her, but was trapped by the boxes that encumbered the lid of which they resided inside of. After that, more and more children were abducted and slaughtered. Afton found his perfect source of Remnant, and found it in abundance due to his association with Fredbears and Fazbears. This is only the beginning of this crazy-ass story. I don't believe there's any other story in the horror genre that is superior to this. I grew immediately attached to this plot due to its dark and gritty nature. Its, lack for better words, a surreal sci-fi nightmare. The story is really what kept the audience hooked, for both fans and players. Many people watch their favorite YouTubers play the game rather than experiencing it for themselves, either because of the game's accessibility, price, availability, etc., or the actual horror aspect of the game itself. The majority of the fan base consisted of these people, myself included. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a really big wuss. I love horror games and I love horror media, but I absolutely hate jump scares and loud noises. But this divide actually improved the fan base because it caused the franchise to go mainstream. People started to focus on the storyline more than the gameplay itself, and that's mainly because, like previously stated, the way they consume the game. Various forms of media were created, such as art, animations, and even some of the most banger FNAF songs ever came out of it. Absolutely straight heat. During the FNAF 2 era, the fan game scene was getting really big. Candies, The Joy of Creation, Pop Goes, and The Final Nights were some of the most notable fan games that, in my eyes, were the most impressive. These games were, and still are, extremely influential. So influential, in fact, that Scott Cawthon himself launched a Fazbear Initiative a few months ago, which notable fan game creators were invited to create fan games which are either pre-existing like Candies or Pop Goes, or entirely new IPs like Juniors, which has had its fair share of controversy and highlights the issues behind the initiative. But that's a story for another time you can look up. More recently, the FNAF Movie, After waiting for so many years for some news about its production, has finally had some major news, with official trailers, movie posters, and behind the scenes by many content creators being released. I am so excited because so many original FNAF fans have been waiting for solid confirmation about this for ages. This franchise is very personal to me because I just thought it was really cool and badass, and unfortunately with the newer release of Security Breach, that didn't do the franchise too well, even though I kind of thought it was cool. But I don't like family-friendly stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I hate saying that, but you know, I guess edgier stuff is kind of what adds the enjoyment or the entertainment into things for me. I think I'm gonna leave it off right here just because I really want y'all, the audience, to watch other videos and make your own opinion about the game franchise. But I doubt that y'all would need any guidance to watch what y'all want, because I'm pretty sure a handful of you know what this franchise is, and if not, well, tell me what you think about it down in the comments below. I'll see y'all later, y'all take care, and I'll see y'all eventually.